IVM.
Hi, I'm Zarina Poonawalla, your peak performance coach, life coach, emotional intelligence practitioner, and NLP practitioner. I'm also the founder of Abzo Expertise Unique, and my organization constantly aims at building leaders across continents. After having worked with so many dynamic business honchos, entrepreneurs, startups, CEOs, management gurus, parents, and student communities worldwide, I am convinced that every individual has unleashed potential, and all we really need to do is realize it. Watch the magic unfold, enhance quality of life, relationships, and professions. On my show, be ready for some riveting conversations with inspirational people, snippets, stories, and much more. So here I am on this exceptional journey to find empowerment and inspiration anywhere I can. Come join me on this breathtaking path of self-realization, potential maximization, positivity, and most of all, embrace your inner power. You are on your way to empowering yourselves. Welcome to the Empowering Series with Zarina Poonawalla. Hello, it's that time of the week where we say, thank God it's Monday. Time for your Monday mantra of the week. Have you ever been in love? Given your all to someone with all your heart? Have you ever been loved? Maybe had high expectations from someone that loves you? Ever wondered how it would be to do all of the above to yourself? Give your all with all your heart to yourself. Instead of others, have expectations from yourself. Ever wondered what it feels like to love yourself? Now I know a lot of you out there might say it is rather difficult. Sometimes I don't feel like loving myself. But I'm going to defend this thought with a question. If you don't love you, how are you capable of loving another? If you don't love you, how do you feel love for anybody else? If you don't love you, how are you capable of loving your job or your work or your profession? Of course, I cannot insist enough on the importance of starting your day with a smile and also making sure that you have good, nourishing, happy food, some of which we have already mentioned in my previous episodes. But today we're going to try and make sure that we use self-love. So much self-love that we need others, we want others, but we are enough. In fact, you are enough. So although there are plenty ways to practice this, I have curated some of the most amazing ways to practice self-love from my experience and from my coaching sessions. At the end of today's episode, you are going to fall right in love with yourself. So are you ready? All right then. First, most importantly, forgive yourself. You know it's human to err, but holding on to every mistake you make is the most cruel thing you can do to you. Just learn to forgive yourself. Not for others, but for your own peace of mind and your own sanity. Be fair and just to yourself. Please consider asking yourself, am I being too harsh on me? If your honest answer is a yes, quit being so and have an unbiased feeling towards yourself. Celebrate small wins and big milestones. Celebrate everything, big and small, about you. Be modest by all means, but do not underestimate yourself. And do not take away from you the triumphs that you truly have achieved on your own merit. So learn to celebrate yourself. Be patient with yourself. Self-love is an ever-evolving concept. You have to keep in mind that there is one person who will never leave you, whether you like it or you don't, and that person is you. Self-love is ever-evolving. It's something that needs to be practiced daily. And only when practiced daily will you master that feeling of knowing yourself well. So learn to be patient. Do not believe everything you think about. You may be wrong about yourself. So be mindful of what you think, feel, and want. Live your life in ways that truly reflect you. Stop comparisons. There is no one else on this planet like you. So you cannot fairly compare yourself to anybody else. Not even your parents, not even your siblings. The only person you can literally compare yourself to is you. If you do any more than this, you are being unfair to yourself. Stop comparisons. There is no one on this planet like you. You literally have just your pair of organs, your eyes, your feelings, your heart, right? All the way down to your kidneys and your lungs. You are just you, and there's nobody else like you. So if you want to compare yourself to anybody, that person's got to be you. Just compare yourself enough to know that you've gotten better than you were yesterday. But comparing yourself to another, your parents, your siblings, friends, competitors, anybody, comparison just makes you feel small. So for God's sake, stop the comparisons. What makes you unique is not your flaw, it's your fortune. Remember, your uniqueness is what distinguishes you from others. So celebrate a bald patch or a little extra weight sometimes. Celebrate a birthmark or a burn mark. Celebrate your scars and embrace them, because what makes you unique isn't your flaw, it is your fortune. Your company matters. Surround yourself with people who have a growth mindset over a victim mindset. Surround yourself with people who encourage you. Yes, of course, they must give you constructive criticism, but they must be people who believe in growth, who believe in growing together and as a team. When you surround yourself with that growth mindset, you automatically start feeling like you have one. And that changes everything. It changes the way you feel about yourself. Lastly, to make all of the above work, talk to yourself as you would talk to someone you love. Because loving yourself is not a luxury, it is a necessity. So love yourself and believe in yourself. Be safe, be well, be empowered.
If you liked this podcast, don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can listen to us on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. You can also follow us on our social media. We are at IVM Podcasts on Twitter and Instagram.
I hope you enjoyed that show. I'd like to thank our sponsors this week, Intel, for supporting us. First, right off the bat, want to congratulate Ashton Doctor on celebrating the 300th episode of The Habit Coach. It's a great show. If you haven't been listening to it, listen to it now. And if you listen to it, you can almost go for an entire year with an episode a day. It's really fun. Do definitely check that out. Arjun Koladi, the head of sales for Spotify in India, was on Advertising is Dead. Do check that out. Really fun show. On Cyrus Says, we had Samit Basu, the author, fantasy author, one of my favorites. Definitely do check that out. It was Utsav Memorial Week this week on the IVM network. He was on Cyrus Says Cock and Bull on Thursday. He was on Litnama and, of course, his own podcast, Postcards from Nowhere. Do check that out. And one last note before we go. IVM Likes is back, and we've been doing a bunch of interesting conversations about different pop culture things that you might want to check out during the pandemic. Do give it a listen. I'm sure you'll enjoy that. And with that, I hope to see you again next week.
Entertainment is like food for the brain. It's a window to culture and a great way to understand the world around us. The internet has changed what it means to be an entertainer, creating new storytellers with millions of fans. It has spawned a new breed, the story sellers, those behind the scenes creating the business for this ecosystem. They work with brands, platforms and channels who are keen to capitalize on an audience hungrier than ever for more stories. I'm Vineet Kanabar, and I have a ringside view to how stories are told and sold. On my show, I bring you creators, artists, executives, and marketers for a freewheeling conversation around the business of entertainment. Tune in to Storytellers and Storysellers for personal stories, analysis and criticism every Thursdays as I talk to the brightest minds telling or selling great stories today.